everyone. I am here to start the session because I am the DM. We skipped last week because I was feeling a little under the weather, but I'm hale and hearty, so we're gonna party.
Whoa!
Howdy, Jen. Howdy, howdy. Howdy, Astro, I believe Grim is.
Astro, Jen! Hi.
Yes, they were in the chat. Okay.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Hey, Jen.
So, what we're going to do is I'm going to briefly summarize the events because that's something that needs to do. And I've got art to show you guys because, you know, I worked really hard on this map, you guys. It cost me $5 and everything.
Oof, $5.
Ooh,
Ouch.
$5.
Oh, wow.
I know, feel bad. I know,
That's like a deviant artist's annual salary.
I know, it's so much money, but you guys are worth it.
Magic.
You guys are worth
Oh, you're amazing.
So,
Just
first up on the chopping block, we have Mr. Fluffy, the Archduke. And, well, the rest you're about to meet, because a certain rabbit was hurrying up to meet and reunite with, their beloved friends and allies.
Comrades.
They're your bays. Now, are you going to run up and greet them?
Was I informed it was this house, or am I going to knock at the random stranger's house asking where they're at?
You were informed it was this house.
Okay. Charlotte walks up to the door.
So, the first one to answer is Rosemary, who looks over and gives a brief smile as another voice echoes out. Took your goddamn time. Welcome back.
It's a long walk, and of course it's very confusing.
And, the next one to speak up is Voth, who says, yeah, it was pretty tough. At least you're not dead.
Come on, Vol, you gotta know me better than that.
I mean, I got my voice back at least, but, you know, it's just not the same anymore.
Glad to see you're still the same, Vol.
I'm sorry.
Is this everyone here?
Everyone who got here on time, everyone else is bloody late. As you are. You're late.
You don't even have a watch yet, Ren.
What is that? What the hell is a watch?
I made it up. It tells time. There's 24 yalms in a day.
You mean it can tell time when the sun is perpetually in the sky like it bloody is here?
Well, it's not very accurate now, is it? It's been days since I just arrived here.
Of course, there's Lilith quietly in the background. Doesn't really say much. And the final person to speak up is Matt. I mean, I think it's alright. Those fairies are quite fun, and, you know, the wildlife here is really interesting.
Matt, I'm pretty sure that you're the reason why that half these people even made it past the ferries.
I mean, I don't think I did that much. I just, well, I really like animals, you know?
That is very true.
Rosemary will briefly speak up and say, unfortunately, we got separated after Boss pushed us through the, you know.
Right. So this is everyone then.
As far as
Everyone.
everyone that's made it so far. But there might be more.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, they might have heard about, well, your promotion, boss,
Mm-hmm.
commander.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't bring that up here.
Well, I mean,
That's not.
Matt speaks up once more. Well, I mean, you should be happy. Congrats on your promotion.
It's not mine. I
It's
don't
not?
think. Is it not?
Is it? Is it?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, I'm speaking in tongues. That was a joke. Don't worry. I'm not speaking in tongues.
I'm still trying to get a grasp of everything.
So how'd you make it here? It must have been a pretty harrowing journey.
You all found each other before you made it to the forest, correct?
Could you repeat that? You cut out a bit.
I said you all found each other before you made it into the forest, correct?
They all share a nod.
I found a group of adventurers that were heading down the forest too. And I just traveled with them.
Mm-hmm.
Corax, we can hear you mumbling.
Yep, sorry.
They all nod and then they say, well, it's good you made it, boss. So what's our new orders?
For now, I recommend that we all wait here and see if any more stragglers come by.
Aye, aye,
Hopefully
Captain.
they'll make it too.
Aye, aye, Captain. We'll
So-
hold the fort down.
Until then, I would like to request that each of you help with the village and make sure it prospers well.
They'll give you a salute.
That'll be all for your orders for the day.
Aye, aye, Captain. Come drink with us later.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea now. Just give me a moment on that, okay?
We're all going to die of liver poisoning.
Off. With that attitude, very possible.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Great
Keep your chin
optimism.
up.
Rin shoves her hand in front of Voth's mouth and simply says, alright, go. We'll see you later.
Charlotte gives a salute and then heads back.
Alright, you head back to the others.
Meanwhile, Jezebel and Cicada are talking, I guess.
Yep, you're all quietly talking outside the... Well, just in front of where the 10-tailed kitsune is. You've just...
Yeah,
They've moved inside by this point.
and Cicada goes over to Jezebel. You alright, love?
Jezebel has her arms crossed over her chest as she's just not looking at Cicada much, but she's looking into the place that the 10-tailed archer went into. Kind of a straight face on as she looks lost in thought, and she just her tail is like basically swaying behind her, almost in agitation, as she's like, "I'm fine." She's lying, obviously.
I don't think I need to to use an insight check for that.
No,
He
and her
has
tail,
insight,
yeah,
so-
is swaying in agitation as she just stares forward at the place that the archer went into.
Clara
feel
is
like
too
the-
distracted by the Fae that she needs to actually make a roll.
Okay. Yeah. Cicada is currently talking, sorry. She looks over to the front door of the Archdruid's house and then back to Jezebel and says, "You want to talk to him?"
Isabel takes a deep breath as she lets it out. She goes, "Very much so, yes. I have quite a few questions for him." The question is, which to ask first?
Maybe ask if he knew in Aarakocra at one point.
She actually kind of frowns at this for a second. She goes, "As much as I want to come out and say it, unfortunately, experience has me that I can't trust somebody right away. I don't know if this archdruid even knows my brother, or if maybe he's the one that sent him to be killed."
You won't know until you ask.
No, but then I also can't trust his words right away either. She gets a
With
frustrated
you-
sigh.
I can ask him for you.
Jezebel actually looks away, looks over to Cicada, and she can't help but give a small smile as she reaches up and puts up her head. She goes, "Oh, you're such a sweetheart. That's okay, dear. I don't want to drag you into this."
I want to help you.
Jezebel looks a little surprised by this, actually. Like, her eyes kind of wide for a second. Then she kind of tries to hide it, and she just ruffles her head furiously and affectionately. She goes, "Oh, you care about me, dear. That's so sweet."
You help me, I help you.
She gives a small little giggle and then looks thoughtful, and she goes, "Never, not quite used to asking for help. Never thought I really needed it." Then she looks back over to the hut and she gives another firm frown. She goes, "Well, you do have a point. I won't know anything if I don't ask. Might as well go ahead and ask."
Hey, right behind you.
She giggles again and she goes, and then she gives a wink to Zakia. She goes, "I know you got my back, dear."
My, mind if I come along too?
"Oh? You want to ask about my brother too, Foxy?" She gives a cheeky grin.
Well, no, it's just I didn't expect to see Kitsune out this far or onto the continent. So
Do you want to ask
besides,
about...
you were already going to ask him about your brother yourself, weren't you?
Indeed, but I'm not really going to ask questions about him, though, either. Mostly about my brother. If you want to ask questions about him, make sure you ask about him.
I'll let you do the talking first. Your business is more important.
Oh? She actually tilts her head a little bit curious with a hand on her hip at Ryu, and she goes, "Giving me the spotlight for a change."
What you're saying you haven't taken the spotlight before? I mean, there was that circus.
One? She holds up a finger, looking kind of like snippy for a second. "That was not voluntary, dear. I was forced to do that, and I do not like to be forced to do things." And two, she holds up two fingers, but then gives a natural, like, genuine smile to you. She goes, "Thank you."
You can't say I'm not trying.
Guess that means both of us now. And she said that she goes over and she can't help but like pinch his cheek for a second and then walk towards the hut.
All right.
So,
Flora's inside the hut for some reason.
but said, is the door open? Do I have to like knock or do I just walk in?
I'm asking what Flora's doing.
She is absolutely fascinated by all the face stuff, and she's asking all the questions about them.
Inside that one room.
Well, this guy knows, or what's in this room, or
This is this guy's house.
how?
There's an entire
True.
village of Fae to explore. Yeah.
True.
Corax, what are you doing?
I'm just honestly, Korax is just like, well, looking into the pond.
Yeah?
Yeah, like he's like half expecting some mystical thing to happen in it. Like this is a forest after all.
Yeah, I mean, you can see a couple of mermaids swimming around in it.
In a pond that small?
Oh, it's, well, no, it does look like a pond to you, so, yeah, and a pond that's small.
He just frog people.
There's a couple of frog people, too, yeah. You know, just bathing in the pond. Neku, what are you doing?
Well, I figured while they were talking, I'll be on the way to the house to adjust the Archstrid.
Alright. Nothing else you want to do, Corax?
Not not really. Not that I can really think of.
Alright.
Hmm.
Laura, because of all your questions, I will give you advantage on intelligence checks to determine things about Fae for a week.
Hooray!
So basically, just give yourself a point of inspiration.
Woo.
Alright,
Okay.
now as for Jezebel. You knock on the door, and the red-haired man opens the door with a smile. And yes, his tails are also red. He's a red kitsune.
Isabel takes a moment to actually look him up and down real quickly, taking his features with a hand on her hip. And then she gives a small smile, not her usual like flirty smile, but like an actual like observant smile. And she goes, "You have a few minutes to talk."
Of course, what can I help you with?
Well, me and Foxy here, well, the other Foxy, have a few questions for you, if you don't mind answering some of them.
Of course. What can I help you with?
Isabel kind of pauses for a second, trying to figure out what to ask first, and she goes, "Have you ever met any Aarakocras in your life?"
Oh, plenty. I've been alive for a long time.
Figured as much. Are you familiar with... She takes a deep breath as she looks to the side a little bit upset. She goes, "Alex Goldscale."
Now, are you asking about, just out of character, are you asking if he knows Alex, or if you're asking if he knows Alex's son?
Alex first, just to see. She's trying to see what all he kind of knows, so to speak.
Well, I've met him occasionally, but we're very peaceful here, so he normally doesn't come around that much.
So you know of his followers then?
Yes.
Or at least those that follow his teaching, so to speak?
Yes.
Well, ever met any Aarakocras that followed that teaching?
Yes, I have in fact met one Aarakocra that was a follower. Claimed to be his son.
her eyes slightly narrow at this as her tail continues to like swing behind her more. And she goes, "Do you know what happened to him?"
Yeah, it's a real tragedy.
Well, he
Her
does.
eyes narrow a little bit more as she takes a step forward. "What do you know?"
He pauses a bit as he looks to you, and then he just sighs, then he says, "We had another guest at the village that day. What was his parents? Yeah, it was... They had blue hair. A sword. They had a sword with them. Oh no, that doesn't help very much.
Starts writing down notes.
Blue hair and a sword. She slightly mumbles, looking thoughtful, but nothing really seems to come to mind. And then she takes another step forward eagerly. She goes, "What else?"
Well, the two left and only one returned, and when we went to search for him, we found the body.
"You mean the one with the blue hair returned?"
Yes, and the Aarakocra did not.
"Why did he?" She looks really frustrated and like confused, and then she also seems to look agitated. And she goes, "Do you remember anything else of the features of the person with the blue hair? Were they male? Were they female?"
No, I'm sorry. It was a while ago at this point.
I
So
don't
all you can
suppose
give
you.
me.
I don't suppose you ever got his name either.
I'm sorry, I've only met him the once.
Makes sense.
So all you can give me is a sword and blue hair.
He didn't give his name. I remember that though. He called himself something. Some word I haven't heard before.
I would really appreciate if you think a little more harder, please. I'm eager to find this person.
Come back tomorrow. I'll think on it and see if I can remember what he called himself.
Tomorrow?
I need to meditate and look into my own memories.
Her fists kind of clench tightly as she looks very irritated and agitated.
I'm sorry.
Cicada places a hand on her shoulder.
Jezebel kind of like turns and for a second, not quite directed at Cicada overall, but she does glare for a minute. But then when she sees it's Cicada that put her hand on her shoulder, she somewhat relaxes and kind of gives Cicada a bit of an unapologetic look, and then just takes a deep breath and then shakes her head and she goes, "Fine. Tomorrow then. Please try to remember anything that can help me lead to this person."
I will do my best and think hard. I'll see what I can find.
Guess that's all I can ask for. She mumbles, shaking her head, and then she reaches up and pats Cicada's hand on her shoulder.
She stops putting her hand on her shoulder at this point.
Heroically, Jezebel does appear. She goes, "One more thing. You said you found the body. Can you tell me where? I'd like to see where you found him."
I will get a party together to lead you to the location.
She just gives a curt nod in thanks, but remains silent. And absentmindedly reaches up and touches the blue stone on her cloak.
Is there anything else you require?
Jezebel takes a calming breath and then looks up, smiles, reaches over, and slaps a hand on Reeves' back to push him forward with a grin. And she goes, "He has some questions," and then slap.
Alrighty.
The man just gives a warm smile.
I had no idea. I had no idea. Yeah, anyway, I had no idea Kitsune could have 10 tails. I was always told there were only ever 9 tails.
Well, that would be because the only kitsune that can get to 10 tails are those that were brought down from the heavens. The original kitsune.
Then you're one of the originals.
He nods. I have been alive for a long time. I'm the last one that I know of that still exists. The rest were all hunted to extinction.
I had no idea there were still survivors of the fox hunt still alive.
There isn't. The fox hunt died out about a century back, I believe, at this point. But, well, the damage was quite extensive. In fact, until you showed up, and I heard the rumors of a kitsune that married a wizard, I honestly thought I was the only one that remained.
I see. That must... You must have been pretty lonely then.
I'm alright. I've got this village to keep me company. The Fae are all very grateful for my gifts, my ability to help power the illusions that keep this place from certain eyes, and the protection of the unicorns that reside here all help to keep this place peaceful and free.
That's good. We met people recently. We've met people recently that are waiting to begin the fox hunts anew.
All we can do is wait for them to die out, really, like they tried to make us die out.
There is some on the bright side. There is someone out there who's searching for the hunters' dens, our old temples, and restoring them to their former selves. They're doing everything in their power to make sure the fox hunts can never happen again.
That's good to hear. If the fox hunts vanish from this world, we might even get new kitsune one day. Coming down from the heavens.
I wonder.
Do you have any other questions?
Jezebel looks thoughtful for a second as she rubs her chin. She goes, "So you've never met any other Kazunes before?"
We used to be a lot more common, roughly, I think it was 500, maybe 1,000 years ago at this point. But those days
Do you
are long past.
You don't remember some of the Kazunes you might have met?
Are you looking for one in particular?
Well, No, more so the fact that I did see one, so to speak, once. Even though they weren't quite alive.
I see. I'll be honest, I would rather not hear about it.
You said there was a kitsune out there that married a wizard. Would you be able to tell us anything?
Oh yes, what was her name? Lanethla? I think it was.
Nethwa? That's my family's name.
That be why you
Oh.
share the same white coat she does.
Then the kitsune you heard of, her name was Kaguri.
It was, yes.
To think there are people that have heard of her all the way here.
That's quite a lovely name. Who's this, Foxy?
Kaguri, she was the 100, and she was the high priestess of the Wildlands 100 years ago. He helped to guide and protect our kind.
She's
I've-
also
I've
your
heard-
great grandmother.
She's well, my great grandmother, or Elnath was her husband.
Oh. This is interesting, she says as she wrinkles her eyebrows.
They say she worked closely with Kagura to make. They said she worked with Kagura to push stricter laws protecting our kind in Western Norheim.
Does that mean that you're related to Mr. Temptails over here?
Oh, no. She is not my daughter, or I knew her mother, I guess you could say. She was one of the last kitsune to ever descend from the heavens.
I see.
Ooh. So your ancestry comes from the heavens. Does
So
that make
you've
you a god?
Then you've never. So that means you've never known. Have you ever known Elnath?
That's the wizard, yes?
Yes.
I only know him of him as the wizard, I'm sorry.
Oops, excuse me.
Then you've never met him in person.
No.
I see. Well, regardless, he'll be glad to hear. He'll be very happy to hear that one of the originals is still alive out there.
Oh, I do have an image of your mother, I believe. I think your grandmother sent me it as to brag, I guess you could say.
Painting.
Yes, I'm just finding it because apparently I never uploaded it to the there it is.
To Roll20.
I found it. Yeah, I never uploaded it to Roll20. You'll have to remember this was when she was a little younger, but He reaches into a drawer and pulls out a picture of your great-grandmother.
Wow, to see this again. Oh my god.
I'm sorry I never got to use it.
It's fine. You're using it now, and that's what counts.
Yay!
I initially I thought there was going to be some more time travel involved and they'd get to meet her, but well, that never happened, so now I'm using it.
That's fine.
Yay!
Wow.
It's one of the pitfalls of being a DM.
Hmm.
You're saying in my someone one of my parents or grandparents sent you this?
Uh, let's just say she was a very rambunctious kid once upon a time. A real hothead.
That's where I got it from.
Foxy can be a little short-tempered. I guess that makes sense.
She was a woman who knew exactly what she wanted and how she wanted to get it. And she would not accept it any other way. Which naturally didn't work didn't work very well when you're trying to converse with gods. But, well, she did eventually settle down, and I really think that elf was a good influence on her.
I don't know if I'd say that. That wizard could act like that wizard could really act like a child sometimes.
Oh yes, but how many kitsune, let alone people, can say they and their husband managed to get some of the gods together to play a game of planets and mortals?
Wait, what?
It's a role playing game. You know, you pretend you're a god and you each get a planet, and then you have to make the mortals on it, and then the planets, and then you have to try and claim the others' planets. And
So it's a conquest game?
yes,
Don't think I've ever heard of it.
Warhammer.
I believe they were playing it in their basement bi-weekly at the Wizard's Tower. I believe
Interesting.
that the Master of the Gods. Oh, that's the person who runs the game basically. I believe it was Socialist, yeah. He was a fairly minor god back then. Mostly
It's starting
just
to get
kept
meta.
mostly just kept the wins and sailed things on fairly.
Sashalas, the god of the sea?
Yes.
Wow. So so Kaguri actually met the gods. I had no idea. I mean, I figured there was one out there that she might have met, but just the one.
Wow.
So, well, while her relationship with the gods was very unusual for a priestess, I can't deny the results. She was able to get a god of death, a god of the ocean, a god of knowledge, among others. Just sit down and play a tabletop role-playing game.
That's that. I actually would have liked to have seen that.
Me as well. Looks like even the gods can have fun.
I'm sorry. I must be taking up so much of your time.
Oh no, no. If anything, it's almost nostalgic.
I see. I I guess I'm glad I was able to bring you back to the old days. Those must have been better. Those must have been much better times.
There are no better days. There are only days, and you can only do the best with them with what you have. I might be immortal, but even I won't live forever. One day the gods will call me back to the lands above, and my duty will be done.
I see.
Well, before that happens, Jezebel says with a cheeky grin, make sure you get the information I want, please. I would really appreciate it.
Of course, I will be meditating once I am all done conversing with you all. Is there any other information you all wish to know?
I think about on one hand, one, I think I've about said everything I can, and two, ooh, I really should let you get around and to remembering that person's name. Jezebel can get very insistent with her questions.
Just one more thing.
Of course.
We are looking for a dungeon in this area as well.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. I'll have the same escorts that are taking you to where where we found the body. We'll ask them to take you to that afterwards. Do be
Okay.
careful down there, it's not under our protection. So we can't guarantee you'll be safe.
Right. Much appreciated. Thank you.
He glances towards Charlotte.
Charlotte gives a small salute.
Didn't see you there.
I take it your friends are all doing well?
That they are, thanks to your accommodations. I appreciate it. Though, there might be more coming soon.
That's should not be too much of a problem. We can just increase the amount of food we are growing to meet the demand.
They're willing to work if that's what you require.
That would be much help. We could use some people to escort certain materials to the town that's on the edge of the forest. Scavsby.
No, be gladly to help. I appreciate it.
We appreciate it back. Thank you very much. Your room should be prepared and ready for you if you need to rest.
I would like to talk about securing a front if you need it.
A front?
A line of defense.
Oh,
Is that not normal?
that was out of character. I didn't understand what you meant.
Oh,
Oh, that won't be necessary. The forest protects us well enough. Not even the undead breach its walls.
Charlotte looks rather confused by that. However, they give a nod. Very well.
Then you don't even have to worry about the Black Sun.
Oh, what is this black sun you were speaking of?
Excuse me?
Is that what's causing the random undead that try to break into this forest on occasion?
That's exactly what causes it.
Curious. I suppose we can offer to lend some assistance to Scavsby. It would be best that that village doesn't fall. It's our one real connection to the outside world.
It doesn't. It just so you know, it only happens once a month, and these past couple months, it's been active for 3 days at a time. So, if that helps.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The I never thought I never thought I'd learn so. Oh, I never thought I'd learn so much about my not just my own kind, but my own family too.
Well, you have your mother's temper, I'll say that much. And he just gives this amused smile to show that he's just joking around.
Ryu turns back, turns his gaze towards Jezebel and says, "Well, I'm trying."
You all,
Jezebel just look amused.
you all have a good evening. I will get to meditating so that I can search for the answers to your question.
All right.
Appreciate it.
And with that, he moves to close the door unless someone has something else they want to ask.
That's it.
Alright. Then with that, it closes and we will move to Corax. You have made a new friend.
Yep.
Alright. Then, if that's everything you want to do there, does
Yeah.
anyone have anything else they want to do?
Other than the summarized, Clara is curious about everything, but we pretty much already handled that.
Yeah. Charlotte,
Yes.
what you doing?
Heading back to the group. My
Fair.
group.
Fair enough, they did offer you drinks.
Yeah, that is strings.
So, you guys have a lovely evening in the quiet, peaceful town with the light streaming from above as if not an hour had even passed, even though you know it's been quite a while since you arrived. Any of the Fae, when you ask, simply tell you that time doesn't really work set the same way here, and it's always midday. Still, you're all given a room and some bedding. Beds are soft and filled with cotton down. It's all very tranquil and peaceful. You all get your long rest in. You all rest up. A couple of times the pixies come to play. What would you guys like to do now? Is there anything you would like to do before we move to tomorrow?
I think I have something I want to do.
Go for it.
So real quickly, I'm Jezebel looks a little like lost in thought, like she's actually like seriously contemplating something, and also actually looks a little nervous for once. She kind of sighs, and then she will like head over to the group real quickly. If we're all together, like, are we all together?
More or less. I mean, you can.
Reconvening at this. Sorry.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, you have to go and get Charlotte. They're slightly drunk, but yeah.
Oh boy, maybe a bit of that.
Reconvening at this pond. Borax is soaking wet, kinda.
I've been dried off by now.
Yeah, I mean, the midday sun will dry you off fairly quickly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jezebel will head over to the group. She looks actually a little nervous as she just goes. She goes, "I would like y'all's opinion real quickly, if you can indulge me."
Huh?
Sure.
Well, it seems Mr. Tentel Foxy that we met knows the place where my brother was killed. Now, I don't know if that is where my family put his grave or not, but I never really visited a gravesite before. Do you have any recommendations of what's the word I'm looking for? A gift to put at someone's tombstone?
Flowers?
Well,
There's always flowers.
Depends on what your brother means to you. I had lost a few soldiers in battlefield, and we normally give them call tags.
Excuse me?
Dog tags. Charlotte shows her dog tag. It has her name engraved on it. We leave these at their grave sites. Lets them know that they died valiantly in battle.
Isabel like leans down because of how how short are you?
I'm a small creature.
You're shorter than me. Okay, so that means I actually get to look down on you. Ha ha ha.
The shortest
well,
of us.
where I'm from, we place ace paper talismans on graves to protect our late loved ones in the afterlife. I could make you one.
Dog tags, talismans, flowers. She looks a little like conflicted and confused, like trying to figure out what to do.
What does your brother mean to you? And that's what you should give.
Well, let's forget deep. Well, forget deep introspection action for now. What did your brother like?
She kind of just sighs as she gives a smile. She goes, "Brave, stupidly brave. He'd always put people's welfare over his own. He'd come home very often with injuries. Mom and I would fret over him very often. But he was very selfless, which would frustrate the hell out of me, since he wouldn't exactly put his own life above. He would put others' life above his own, but not value his own life. Frustrating to no end."
I think you misheard me. What did your brother like?
She looks thoughtful. Being with the family. He was
do you have, like,
adopted.
Family
have, like,
picture?
Yes, I was about to suggest that myself.
My mother probably has some, but I don't have any on me.
Hmm.
It's
I can describe.
But-
I can describe you what he looked like if you want.
sure, why not?
He was a very tall giant of a man, really. The wings were very large and wide. And despite having a beak, he always had this bright and grinning smile.
Bird teeth.
Birds can still smile.
Yeah, they can. In cartoons anyway.
In cartoons, yeah.
And, you know, he was always kind, always protecting you.
I imagine he was like a great big eagle of some kind.
Always the first to jump into danger.
Which would again frustrate Jezebel. He would always be one to jump into the fray, even at protecting somebody. He loved to fly, that's for sure. He loved his wings. I almost wish I could fly with him. He always would take me and my and the rest of our siblings flying with him all over the place. And well, she gives a sigh as she actually motions to the feather that's in her hair. This was his, actually. He gave it to me when I was younger.
So you've even had a part of him with you this whole time.
This and well, she goes silent as she lightly, just tenderly, very carefully, slightly strokes the feather. I use this for another reason as well. But yes, that is the main reason why I have it, she says, and she doesn't really want to elaborate on it, on the other reason. And she pauses for a second, looks like she's contemplating something, and then she leans up and she points to the blue stone on her cloak. This also was his too. There's a small tradition in my family where each family member, we are given a stone, so to speak. Call it a soul stone. It's kind of silly. Really, it's not really anything of value. It's just a stone that basically emphasizes our family. We hold it for basically the rest of our lives. Like mine, she pulls down her cloak and she shows the red stone that's on a choker on her neck. This one's mine. Whenever somebody passes away in our family, we pass down the stone to a family member, or it gets passed down to the family member. Because I was close to my brother, I got his. My mother sent it to me.
You didn't have your own before that?
We only ever pass it down when somebody passes away. So, because I was so close to my brother, mother sent me his stone, and I kept it with me. When I die, somebody will take my stone instead.
She has two, Ryu. One blue and one red.
Like I said, they're not really anything of value. They're not even very precious or rare stones. They're just keepsakes. And, well, I guess to its aircraft of nature, and I guess mine as well, me and brother love to collect things, random things. We call them souvenirs. Something just to remember our journeys too. She looks actually a little nostalgic, and then she also looks conflicted. She goes, I don't know. I'm not used to doing this, saying goodbye to somebody. I guess you can say he was the first one I ever lost.
Okay.
I see. Your brother sounds like an amazing person.
He was. I looked up to him a lot for strength. He was very dedicated to my father. She says, with trying not to sound spiteful, she's trying very, very hard. And I admired that, I really did. But in the end, I was always concerned that one day would get him killed. And I was right.
You're saying he was killed specifically because he followed Alex?
Tell me this, Foxy, or Ryu. You're a Kusune, which means that more than likely, as we've learned, you're going to be hunted down if people find out who you are, right?
Wait. We've we've already met people with that intent.
Indeed, she says with a small smile. So what would you think would happen if people were to find out who my father really is and what my last name really is too?
Well, considering the history of our kind, considering the Kitsune's history and how we were abandoned by the gods, I would assume there would be some out there seeking revenge on the gods that betrayed us. But Alex didn't have anything to do with that.
That's your part of your history, Foxy. Mine is more so the expectations of the fact that because I am descended from the god, I should have great power. My family does not. At least to my knowledge, neither do I. So then, people who put so much faith in the gods, who believe in them, believe that they are a greater deity like you do. Not to sound rude, I'm trying not to sound rude, I promise. If they were to find out you were what?
Not to put too fine a point. Not to put too fine a point on it, Jezebel, but they did make the universe.
Yes. So then, as a child of the so-called gods, people would put these expectations on you that you should be at their level or somewhat close. You know how much pressure that puts on one person?
How could I? I'm only the son. I'm only the son of a major elven lord.
So
She gives them a
character-
knowing.
Sorry, out of
And
character. So maybe be talking about this in front of Charlotte, who doesn't know what we're talking about.
She's part of the group. Too late now. Circle of
Okay.
trust. Circle of trust.
I had people always assume I'm royalty. Growing up, we thinking we were related to Kagura simply because he had our name.
Then perhaps you and I have something in common, Ryu. I never wanted to be seen in his light, so to speak. But my brother probably, I guess I could say, wasn't afraid. He didn't welcome being in the light, but he also followed the light, if that makes sense. So I did admire that for him. But like I said, I was also afraid that the pressure would become too much, or maybe somebody who maybe does have a grudge against the gods, or who, of course, maybe a grudge against a Pacific god, would find out that he was the adopted son. Adopted, yes, but still his son. And then would end up paying for it later. Whether you call that being proven right or wrong, I don't really care. All I know is that he was killed doing something for my father. And I want to know why.
Didn't you say your brother's murderer was a kitsune?
I didn't say he was the kitsune exactly. All I said was that my mother gave me information that I needed to find a man with 10 tails.
Wasn't it Nine Tails?
Oh, 9 tails. Sorry, excuse me. A man with 9 tails. Excuse me, I forgot we were on 10 tails. That's all she told me. She didn't tell me that the man with 9 tails was specifically the killer or not. Just I needed to find them. Now I find the 10 tails. So whether I do know that Kusunes do grow more tails with time, we'll have the possibility anyway. So excuse me for saying that I cannot give away my suspicion as of yet that the Archdruid here could indeed be the killer. So I can't trust his words yet until I see the location and see for myself where he was killed.
And the Archdruid, he mentioned that your brother was with someone, no?
He did. She gives a frustrated sigh, trying not to be too irritated. He only remembers blue hair and a sword. And apparently he was called something, but he doesn't remember what yet.
So that sounds like your friend Tetsu.
She looks thoughtful for a minute and then looks downward, curious. But not to say I haven't met other people with blue hair before, but that's an idea.
When did you say you met this guy?
A
Tetsu,
good
I mean.
couple years ago. She says that she crossed her arms over her chest. I was doing a recent hunt, and he ended up doing the same hunt, as I said before.
So you meeting him was a coincidence?
So I thought, but after what Clark
Clara,
said, now I'm curious.
Clara
Did you
like
meet-
puts her hand over her mouth and she's like, "You think maybe he was tasked to hunt your brother?"
If that's the case, then he either didn't know that I was his sister, or he was trying to see if because if he did know I was his sister, he probably could have tried to kill me, and he didn't.
Did you meet
So
him
either
before? Did you meet him before or after your brother was killed?
before. Oh no, I'm sorry. Excuse me. After. That's out of character. That's my bad. It was after.
Would you have already gotten your brother's soul stone at this point?
She gives a nod and she just lightly touches it again out of instinct. I did. I already had it, and it was by then I was even then when I met Tetsu, I was looking for the killer.
Did your brother always wear his stone outside his clothing and such where it could be seen?
She looks thoughtful. She goes, "I'm not sure. Some of us wear it on the outside so it shows. Others just keep it hidden like mine is under my cloak. But like I said, it's not very valuable though. So it's not like if anybody were to steal it, it would be worth anything."
Valuable or not, if your brother's killer met you and recognized that stone,
She actually kind of frowns at this now, and she looks a little more irritated. And then she starts to tap her foot with her tail swaying behind meditation. She goes, "All right, now I really wish you would figure this out sooner. Tomorrow can't come quick enough."
Not jump to conclusions just yet. We should rest first.
She throws her head backwards, taking a deep breath again, and she goes, "All right, well, can either you, Foxy, or Charlotte, show me how to make these dog tags or these talismans, please? I need something to distract me."
sure.
I can make.
This is it's been a while, but I remember the symbols. So, it should be good all the same.
I can play some music.
I want to learn too.
Oh, Cicada, how cute.
She's absolutely going to mimic everything they do.
Disblo just gives a slight forced smile, but she does nod and thanks to you, and then looks over to Charlotte and she goes, "How do you make these dog tags again?"
Need a bit of metal, but I can provide that.
Metal. All right then.
I'll show you how it's done, but you'll need some tools. Some pliers, that's mainly what we just need. Otherwise, it's pretty simple.
Well, whatever works, because like I said, I need distractions, so let's go.
Alright. Isabel.
Hmm.
I know you probably heard this before. Many times, even. As I have. Make sure you get them. Whoever it is.
Her eyes slightly widen for a second, and then they narrow in determination as she gets smart. She goes, I've come this far, and I haven't given up. There's no way I'm going to stop now. Trust me.
So,
Um,
go on, Sila.
I'll make sure I do my part and what I gotta do too. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. So, escorting them all to the group, your party, they all greet them, and Rosemary speaks up to say hello. So this must be those adventurers you told us about.
Well, I kind of tagged along. I figured it'll be better be in a group than alone, per se. I didn't see anyone for a good bit.
Thank you for taking care of our lucky rabbit here.
It was no
Charlie
problem.
gives an annoyed look.
Okay, hold on. Did they say unlucky?
Lucky.
Okay, this is what gives a taunting expression. She goes, "Lucky." I'd say that we should be lucky ones because we're the ones that helped her get down. We found him stuck in a snare, hanging upside down from a tree.
Aye, that's why she's called the unlucky rabbit now, ain't she?
Indeed, very fitting.
It's alright, Commander. You know we're only teasing. It's not your fault this royalty screwed us over.
You just keep saying that, but there's less of USC by the day, and that does hurt my heart.
Aye, but it's not your fault.
Then who should we
So are
blame?
these your friends?
Boss, of course. It's Boss's fault.
Yeah. And I'll make sure he pays.
Just be careful out there, Captain. You know you like to go overboard. Just because you got a new crew, don't forget about us now.
New crew?
Be friends.
Ooh, are we adopting the rabbit?
Yeah.
I am
Make
not
sure to-
adoptable.
Make sure to feed Charlotte 3 times a day.
We
Charlotte-
have a bag to find those apples.
Charlotte suddenly pulls a gun on who said that. The race.
Let me get the name. Yeah, it was Ken.
And
Ken.
Better be careful with those words, Ken.
Oh, what are you gonna do? Shoot me? You're just mad you lost at cards.
Dance, Ken, dance. To his feet.
Don't worry,
It's not-
Captain. I continue to follow your orders, and I shall do my utmost to remain alive as per your very clear instructions, eh?
Hey, you have to
better
order
keep-
them to stay alive?
Sometimes they like to charge in, and those are the ones that don't stay alive.
Sometimes I just want to be up and close with the explosion.
Just don't destroy the village.
That seems extremely counterintuitive.
I give no promises. You know I'm a little trigger happy, Captain. Relax, I'm not that incompetent. I'll make sure the explosives are properly primed.
I know you're not that incompetent. I trust you with them with my life.
he sounds dangerous.
He can be.
Alright, there should be enough metal for the dog tag. It's all melted. Quick, be right back, cat.
Cat.
The world is suspended by Cat.
The DM has great powers, but is no match for the cat.
More cat cameos. But yes, Kira begins to just introduce herself to each person individually.
In the same tone.
Yes. Because she's a Kenku, what did you expect?
I just had to make sure that was clarified.
That's it.
They're waiting for Law to get back.
Marco,
Hello.
I haven't done that in a while.
Follows?
Hellos.
Hello.
Hello.
Someone say something. It's too quiet.
Sorry.
We're waiting. Calm
Sorry.
down.
Too quiet. It's quiet. I don't like quiet.
Sorry about that. My cat was trying to get near some food, and I had to go take care of that.
Okay.
I
Alrighty.
like quiet.
But anyway, Cicada is just going around introducing herself to each new person individually.
Oh, you are just absolutely adorable. Ain't she precious? I've seen cuter.
She like
Yeah.
crosses her arms.
That was Ren, by the way.
She is only Kenku. She can only say so many things to people.
Hey, I know a game we can play.
Huh?
Ken just gives the devilish grin. Repeat after me, Kenku? Cicada, right?
Cicada, yes.
Yes. Alright, repeat after me, alright?
Okay.
Fuck you, I do what I want.
Cicada, no.
Do it.
Her.
Go on.
She looks over to Jezebel.
Jezebel looks conflicted. On one hand, she wants to keep Cicada nice and innocent. On the other hand, a cousin Cicada's kind of cute.
We'll let you
So I was
hold a
like,
gun.
no!
We'll let you hold a gun while you say it. Oh man, that's gonna be so cute.
I'm
And
gonna
Korax
take
like
that one.
What I
Korax
want.
pulls his out. Cicada, if you don't say it, I'll let you hold a gun. And like pulls his own gun out.
Now that's no fun. You should let the lady cuss. She's gonna have to learn some language.
Cicada's gonna
No.
say it.
Alright,
Shrug
let's...
and
Guys. Shh. Cicada.
Fuck you, I do what I want.
The entire little house fills with chorus laughter as they all laugh. Even Ren has to suppress a brief snort before turning away with a huff. Hey, you're alright, kid. You're alright. You wanna drink?
I don't
I never
drink.
met a group that disobeys my orders so often and chooses what they want to do.
How about some water then? We got some water here. You wanna play cards with us?
Sure.
And with that, Cicada becomes one of the squad.
I know, we've exchanged members.
Jezebel pushes by everybody, grabs Cicada. She's mine. Can't have her. She's mine.
Hey, you haven't said the password.
Move. Move. She's mine. There you
No,
go.
that's not the password here, mate.
Miss Merrick, can I come in?
Of course you can.
Thank you, Rosemary.
As Ken looks to Rosemary and then goes, right, as we were saying, yeah, you can't come in. You don't have the right password. Sorry, mate.
Would you like to listen to some music?
You can come into the Cool Kids Club.
She starts playing music.
Yeah, now this is a fucking party, mate.
And at about the 1 minute mark, because she's a troublemaker, she procs this on everyone in range, just cause.
Like,
Okay. Regardless, they don't care. They're
They
just
don't really
enjoying the
care.
party. Do, 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 do,
Yeah.
do, 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 do. The door closes on the three of you, slamming shut as the building begins to bounce with the sound of the music. As the party starts rocking, you can hear the cheers and the laughter from inside. As you all realize, you're the losers.
oh no. Oh no. They're not cool enough.
So what do you guys?
Just gonna go over to Ren and say, what's the password?
Ken just gives a wink and then says, "You said it."
Really?
So, what does the loser club want to do?
God.
Jezebel, she just got aside, then she waves a hand, she goes, "This is too rowdy for someone like me, I'm going."
And see, and see, yeah, there's a reason I joined the Order of the Dragon instead of the military. Korax is gonna head out, see if there's anything else interesting in this village.
Sir,
Here's Cicada. Here's your honorary gun, by the way.
You're giving an innocent baby a gun? Shame on you!
you hear a bang.
That's good.
Yeah, Cicada already has a gun. You hear
I
a
have an
bang
Alfred
as
clap.
the roof is blown, as a hole is blown in the roof. And Ken goes,
I mean,
"Oh, sorry, that was me."
you know, by the rules of this campaign, she is proficient with the use of a pistol.
So,
I mean, yeah, I do have simple weapons proficiency.
yes. Anyway,
Yeah. It's inferior to. I mean, it's inferior to your Eldritch Blast in every way, but you've got it.
Anyway, as the party goes on and dances into the night, Cicada is thoroughly brought into the fold as the party dances on, and the rest of you quietly go to sleep. The morning comes, and with it, toilet paper strewn everywhere, along with discarded glasses that once held alcohol. I need Charlotte and Clara to make a con save, and Cicada, I need you to make a con save with advantage.
Okay.
You get advantage because you didn't drink, but you did get proxy drunk
I
from
wonder how.
vapors.
I wonder how the red caps take to littering.
So, Charlotte, you danced your way onto the top of a roof, and you wake up, asleep on the roof. Clara, you find yourself awake just slightly, just off the water. And in fact, you nearly roll into it as you wake up. Cicada?
I imagine after the party, Cicada would go find Jezebel.
Cicada, well, no, they're all asleep.
Okay.
Cicada, You quietly head to bed. You have no issues.
Okay.
The
I have
others are all
complaints
knocked
about
out.
this.
The others are all knocked out drunk. And the morning arrives. You can see most of the gets are already starting to pick up trash, and you can see quite a few of the drunk soldiers, grumbling as they pick up trash to groaning at hangovers.
So
Hey,
Clara's
Cam looks
That I-
perfectly fine.
yeah. Hey. Cheer up, man. And those hangovers are nothing compared to being kicked in the head by a red cap, which is what will happen if they find out you've been littering.
I'm sorry. I should have stopped them. I should have just cleaned up. I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
Don't make excuses for them. It's all your fault.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. She starts using Mage Hand to get all the toilet paper off the trays.
So yeah, Vother's completely normal. You can't even tell if he's hangover.
That's just
Clara's
thought
like-
for you.
Clara's like, my head hurts. That's unfortunate. Oh, I need to be useful today. Okay, my head doesn't hurt anymore.
So, you're helped off the roof, Charlotte, and you will regroup. Where would you like to go?
We're going to Jezebel. We're going today.
Do we want to check up on the Kitsune?
That's where I'm heading, indeed. I just want to make sure that you all are all right, because apparently you guys had quite the fun last night.
Yeah,
We did?
fun.
I don't remember.
I could hear you all. I could hear you all the way from from the place you were staying.
Right?
Hey, Charlotte, does your head hurt?
No.
She was mostly checking to see if you were having a hangover or not.
No.
Okay.
Are you lying?
No. No.
Charlotte?
Are you sure? She says with a loud voice.
Charlotte? A sprite randomly boops you on the head.
Mm.
Hmm.
No.
Jezebel just smirks at Charlotte and then just turns around. She goes, "All right then, if you say so."
With Clara's 19, what does she learn?
You learn if she is drunk
He's
and
still
if she has to have a headroom.
Okay.
Resolved.
They leapt on top of the roof.
Do you feel better now?
No.
So, you all head towards the Kitsune?
Yeah.
Alright. I can see you staring at it. If you get up there, Cat, I will... Okay, I will be right back.
Cat, no. Cat wants attention.
Cat wants food.
Meanwhile, Charlotte leapt up on the roof. Great bounce.
How did I even get up there?
I don't know.
Okay, I've put the cat in the room with the food and the kitty litter for now. It'll
Okay.
do until after the game. We've only got 20 minutes left. She'll be fine.
Alrighty.
So, You all head over to the Kitsune, the Archdruid, and he greets you with a smile as he says, I have meditated and I have an answer.
Oh.
Well,
All right then.
while it is true they never did give their name, I do remember what they referred to themselves as. It was a wandering samurai.
Duh.
Ugh.
Uh,
Out of character, Negu, I have some questions for you.
Hi.
I have some serious questions for you, and I am mad at you, you jerk.
oh,
In
duh.
character, in character, Jezebel gives us a silent like guess, and then she gets a snarl on her face as her hands like tighten into tight fists, like her nails digging into her skin that she could probably draw blood. And then she'll reach her hand up, and then she'll slam it into the nearest tree she has that's nearby her, and on instinct causes thaumaturgy and shakes the ground around her.
Cicada's feathers all get just poof out.
the tree quietly wraps a branch around you and removes your hand from it, and then lets you go.
Hey.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, there's a couple of tree ants, so be careful what trees you hit.
Jezebel still has her fist clenched as her head is like downward, and you can't see her face very well. As she's just like, there's still a snarl on her face as she's just shaking in anger in place.
Well, I'm honestly not very good with anger in general, so you know, I'm going to leave this to you and your friends, and when you guys are ready to leave, just knock on the door. Okay, goodbye.
Claire's like, I hug you.
Don't.
Not going to work.
Jezebel kind of says with a bit of a strain, she goes, don't touch me right now.
Huh?
Now's really not the time for time for lovey stuff like that, Clara.
Oh, okay.
Jezebel still kind of shakes with anger as she just takes another deep breath, but it's not working, and she goes, I need to take a walk, and starts to walk off.
Okay.
So, is there anything you guys would like to do before we wrap up? Any actions or?
It is going to wait for a little bit as Jezebel storms off, and just looks at the rest of the party and goes, should I follow her?
No. There's some things you need to figure about alone, Cicada.
Even so, someone should watch over her. Sure, she doesn't do anything rash.
I'll
As
watch her.
you say that as though you think we can stop her.
I'll watch her. And just Cicada just follows at a distance.
Jezebel basically walks over to the pod for a second, and she just seems to stare in the water, like silently for a minute. Then she's going to reach into her pocket and take out the notes that Tetsu gave her the last time they met. And looks at it for a second, and then she gives a smile, and she just the whole time, person I was looking for was right next to me. And she crumples the paper for a second, and then her hellish rebuke kind of comes up and puts the paper into flames and burns it away. And then she like thrusts her arm downward to throw away the ashes. And then she smiles like threateningly into the water. She goes, "All right then. I'll play your game for now, Tetsu."
A couple of the mermaids briefly open their mouths as if to ask a question, but they shrink back as you gaze, and one of the other guests just quietly goes to clean up the pond. You know, just like, sorry, I'm just okay.
She's monologuing to herself. Don't worry about it.
Right, okay, yes, alright, bye.
Alrighty.
So what do you do now?
Eventually, once she calms down a little bit, Zakea just goes up, just sits next to her.
Isabel doesn't quite stare at her, but she just keeps looking into the water, just she's still pretty angry, but she's at least somewhat calmer. She goes, "Hope I didn't scare you, dear. Wouldn't be a first if I did."
Very angry.
I think you scared everyone.
Probably wasn't called for, I'll admit, but the person I guess in a small way, the person that should fear me, I hope that he felt that tremor wherever he's at.
Hey, you don't have to say it was uncalled for. We understand. You just got the answer you wanted, and it was the worst possible one.
She takes a deep breath and leans her head upward to the sky with her eyes closed. She goes, "I was angry and I acted out. That was uncalled for, true. To be honest, as much as I want to assume that it could be Tetsu, now that I've been able to clear my head, there also could be a possibility that maybe he didn't actually kill him. Now that I'm trying to be hopeful,
in the forest?
that idea did come to me. Not to say that I'm any less angry, because to be fair, I didn't quite tell Tetsu either that who my brother was, just that I was looking for the killer. So as much as I am angry right now, I need to make sure I keep a level head and don't act out.
Would you like
Whether
us to
he
do
is the
anything
killer,
if you do?
do anything. She
Do you want
glances
us to,
the cord, curious.
Do you want us to like try to restrain you or something?
She gives a bit of a smile as she goes, "Oh dear, if I didn't have the strength I have now, I would have killed so many people that I had thought were my brother's killer. No, I know when to keep a level head when needed. I did need to let that out a little bit, I'll admit that. But I now have a lead again. So I will take that and continue forward."
Okay.
When we reach his gravesite, maybe we'll find answers.
She takes a deep breath as she just nods to Cicada. She goes, "Indeed, at least something that'll give me an actual clue whether Tetsu was the one that killed him or not. If he didn't, then hopefully Tetsu can give me answers to leading me to the person who actually did. If it was Tetsu all this time," she grips the ground a little bit, like digging her nails into the ground, "then I will make sure that he would be my next hunt."
whatever happens, we'll be right there with you.
She gives a bit sympathetic smile. She goes, I really don't want to bring you guys into this. This is a family matter.
We're a team.
Indeed, but there is no gain for you guys for this. And not only that, but don't you all have your own agendas as well?
My friend. Friends stick together.
Friends, huh?
Besides, the whole I don't want to get you guys involved thing is kind of cliche, don't you think?
Maybe a little. She just gives a small shrug with a small grin, her usual cheeky grin. It's not all there yet, but it's coming back.
Whether you want us to get
I guess-
involved or not, Jezebel, we're going to anyway. It's our decision.
True. Can't exactly tell you what to do and what not to do. Like if I were to tell you to stay still and let me hug you this
Fine.
time? She actually looks surprised and looks at Cicada. Like, is he actually letting her do this?
Look at Ryu. He's not
Just
saying
this
anything.
once.
Cicada nods.
Jezebel actually looks happy as she goes, "Yay, miracles do happen!" and leaps and glomps Ryu. She actually her squeeze isn't like too tight like it used to be, but it actually she does squeeze him decently close.
Happy now.
Feeling better, yes, thank you. And then she she gives him a smooch on the cheek and then pats his head and pushes him away. Says thank you and stands back up.
I was afraid. That was exactly what I was afraid of.
So, is there anything anyone wants to do before we wrap this session up?
I got something.
Go for it.
So Charlotte was the last to arrive. Oh, my entire screen went black. There it goes. Okay. Scarlet was the last to arrive. As you see a shiny metal thing in the sky, heading straight for Jezebel. It lands to you, or close to you. It's a dog tag, ready to be engraved.
It came from the sky, you said?
No, it was in the sky as Charlotte tossed it, basically.
It was a little. It was
Oh.
basically that were making it sound fancy.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Jezebel just kind of looks upward and then down to the dog tags with a tilt of her head, and then leans down and picks them up. And she looks at it. She goes, So these are dog tags.
Wolf.
You always pick them up from a soldier who did good in battle. I'm sure your brother would appreciate it. In his own way. It's like
She
mementos.
looks up. She looks thoughtful for a second, and then Ashley does give a smile, and with a small giggle, she goes, "That's a pretty nice thought, actually. Now that I think about it." Same with the
Charlotte-
talismans that Ryu made, and she glanced to Ryu with a grateful smile.
These three. He handed you a slip of paper with a thin slip of paper with 3 symbols written on it. Each of these have a different meaning. This symbol symbol. This symbol will is our is each symbol is a message to the departed. This symbol is us letting them know, reassuring them that we will remember will remember the good, the memories, them, the for for and their virtues will we will always know them for their virtues. This symbol is a reassurance that we will always is that you will always remember. We will always remember them. And this last one is a prayer for asking that our loved ones be given in peace, protection, and happiness in the afterlife.
Nice sentiment. She says honestly, and again smiles grateful at Ryu, and then looks over to Charlotte and she goes, "And you said that I can engrave anything on these, right?" And she holds up the dog tags.
Normally, you would engrave the name of a saying that you remember them by, and a soldier ID. However, for you, I wouldn't do the ID.
Just a name and a message would be good.
I think so too.
She gives a grateful nod and then will tell Charlotte later what to be engraved on the dog tags in secret.
Charlotte would do so at a later time then.
Does anyone have any last closing bits?
We're good.
One more.
Fuck you.
Oh. No, we're done.
Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.